In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Padmé Amidala, based upon her appearance from the Tartakovsky Clone Wars series for the Legacy Collection. If you don't know anything about this particular Padmé or the particular outfit she's in, this is during the Rescue on Ilum arc. I believe it was 2 episodes, if I recall correctly, from Volume 1 of the original Clone Wars series. Basically, Luminara Unduli and her Padawan, Barriss are ambushed inside of a crystal cave, and then Padmé here and Yoda ended up going to rescue them. Personally, I'm a big fan of that particular arc. It's nice to dive more into the world building of Ilum. I think it's a very interesting planet, and it's a very interesting planet to read about. A lot of Jedi end up going there for the lightsaber crystals, and we do see a little bit of that in the actual series. And I think this is a great way to be able to show off Padmé a lot more. Thinking back on it, I think the original Clone Wars series did a very good job showing off Padmé as much as possible. I feel like that's something that kind of got neglected more in the Dave Filoni series. Yes, we did get quite a bit of content with Padmé, but it seemed like it was much more sparing. But in this case, we got to see Padmé in a very action-oriented role. So I've had this action figure since 2019, if I recall correctly. I did get this brand new in the package at a comic book store. I think I paid somewhere $20 to $22 for her. Not a bad deal at all. It's an action figure that I kind of had my eye on ever since 2009, 2010. She was released in the original white and blue Clone Trooper packaging. And most of the wave is, I'm trying to think back on the wave. I believe the holographic Count Dooku was also part of this particular wave she's in. And it may have been various other Tartakovsky Clone Wars characters as well. Without saying anything further, let's just take a closer look at Padmé here. So I believe this is the second release of this particular interpretation of Padmé. There was a battle pack that came with the droids that we see in this sequence. And that particular Padmé is an okay action figure from what I've seen of it. It's much smaller compared to this, and it's kind of a statue in a way because it's in a permanent action pose. I would say this one's probably the definitive version of her, although there is room for improvement. Overall, it's a nice action figure. This is often referred to as her Snow Buddy outfit. And this was also made in the original Sideshow Collectible line, and I believe that was the only Padmé that they ended up making. And I do have that particular Padmé, which I'll be showing off here soon as well. So for the hood, some nice sculpted detail there. Has a little bit of that bluish tint to it. I'm not sure if that's the actual color of it or if it's meant to be a reflection from the ice and the snow. But it's nice regardless. Let's have a little bit of blue paint right there. And the hood is removable. To be honest, I don't think I've ever taken it off before, but let's see how it will work. Actually, you know what? Let's look at the rest of the action figure first, and then we'll take off our gear last. You have these tabs there. As for her coat, it's a very nice material, very thick material. Almost looks like wool. And for the rest of her outfit, it's pretty standard. Have her gloves here. Standard belt for her. And for her pants and her boots. In terms of her articulation, she does have a ball joint in the neck, I think. Then hinge shoulders, elbows, swivel forearms, swivel waist. Yeah, that's. Then swivel hips, then hinge knees, and hinge ankles. So pretty good articulation. The tooling on this is a little wonky, I suppose. They could do a little bit of an improvement with this, but it's fine for what it is. I kind of have to keep her in this stance in order to make her look a little more natural. Otherwise, yeah, if you have her standing upright in a way, that's kind of what it's like for her. So you kind of have to keep her in a more action-oriented pose. So we'll see about taking this gear off. I might have to pop her head off. Yeah. She does have the skull cap around her head. And you can take her coat off as well. And we do see her take her hood off and her coat during the sequence. And it looks pretty good. It's a pretty good likeness to Padmé. So in terms of her accessories, she just comes with her standard Naboo blaster here. It has a black pistol grip instead. A little bit different from what we normally get. Kind of looks like it's a different sculpt too. It just seems a little bit larger. Then we could count the hood. And then the coat. And because she is in the Legacy Collection, she does have a Build-A-Droid part. And the particular part she came with was astromech droid leg, and it does have thrusters on the side here, which I think are removable, as you can tell by the elastic band. I don't have the complete droid. I think, if I recall correctly, the droid might be like R7T1, something like that. I do hope to complete it at some point, but this is the only part I have for now. That's pretty much all I can tell you about this action figure. We'll try and put her in a pose here real quick. Bring out some other action figures for comparison. So two companions that are closely associated with her. R2-D2 and C-3PO. They all look good together. Usually have all three of them side by side on my shelf there. And if you recall, in the series, Padmé does ask C-3PO to fetch her coat. And that's to use C-3PO as a distraction because the droids in that sequence do have a cloaking device on them. So you can kind of reenact that scene. And in that battle pack, it did include one of the droids that we see in the series. I do hope to get that pack someday. To be honest, I haven't looked too much into it, but it's one of those packs that you see every now and then, and it's like, oh, I would like to have that. So would I recommend this Padmé for your collection? If you're a big fan of the Tartakovsky series, you're a big fan of Padmé, if you want to take action figures out into the snow even, this is a perfect action figure for you. As far as Padmé's go, I think this is probably one of the better ones out there. Hard to judge because there's so many Padmés that have been made over the years. But I don't think you can really go wrong with this one. And as far as price is concerned, I think she has stayed relatively affordable. As I mentioned, I picked this up for around $20 brand new. And I think even on sites like eBay, it's not too far away from that. But anyways, that concludes this review. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for plenty more reviews in the future. There will always be more to come. If you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I always appreciate all your support, and check out some links in the description if you haven't done so already. Of course, as always, thanks for watching.